Hello, Assalamu Alaikum. Today we are going to study hepatitis, which is a well-known disease. I do not have to tell much about it. As you all know, it is related to the liver. So, yes, let's get started. What is the cause of hepatitis, which is a very well-known disease, and as we know, this disease is cureless. Okay, so it is a inflammation of liver caused by viral infection, toxic agents, and drugs. So there are various reasons to get hepatitis, and some of them is a viral infection due to a virus which usually infect the liver cells, or there is a person who takes a lot of drugs who may get hepatitis, and if there is a person who is having intake of toxic agents and he is addicted to some other toxic agents, they can cause, or if they have toxicity in the water they drink or in the food they consume, then they might get hepatitis from the food they eat or the drink or the water they are drinking, or maybe it can be a drink as well. Okay, so what are the symptoms? How do we know that I have hepatitis, or somebody have a patient get that hepatitis? So the hepatitis is characterized by jaundice, okay, jaundice, abdominal pain, pain in the stomach, and liver enlargement. Their liver is enlarged because of the inflammation. If it has inflammation, then there will be an inflammatory response, and due to that inflammatory response the liver is enlarged. Fatigue, which means getting tired quickly, and sometimes fever. So these are some of the symptoms which might be seen in the patients of hepatitis. Transmission. Now, how this disease is transmitted from one patient or one host to another. So there are three different types. First, before discussing the transmission, I have to tell you there are three types of hepatitis. Number one, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C. So these three types of hepatitis contain different mode of transmission, and they have different severity of condition. Hepatitis A is kind of less severe, hepatitis B is very severe, and after that hepatitis B is moderate severe, while hepatitis C is extremely severe condition. And so these three hepatitis are different in their symptoms as well as in the transmission, but some of the symptoms matches in all of the hepatitis diseases which we have discussed over here. Okay, now these are the symptoms which have been shown in hepatitis A. In hepatitis A, it is transmitted. Actually, let's discuss the transmission first. So its transmission is done by orophycal route of spread. So yeah, we are studying transmission. We have completed the topic of symptoms. My brain is still working on the symptoms and letting you know about more about this symptoms, but I forgot I have reached to the topic of transmission. So what happens in transmission, that orophycal route of spread spreads very easily and self-limiting, vaccine preventable, and related to poor sanitation and hygiene. If there is a person who stay in contact with fecal material, so they can get hepatitis A, and it's very related to poor sanitation, which means the person is not hygienic. They are not keep maintaining their hygiene, and they stay unhygienic, and their environment is dirty. That's why they got hepatitis A. And good prognosis means that it is very easy to diagnose. How someone get the hepatitis B? Hepatitis B can be transmitted by various methods, from which one is the blood transfusion, blood transfer from one patient to another, or blood to blood contact. Both of these things can cause hepatitis B, mother to the child which is birthed. So this is also another source of the transmission of hepatitis B. Tattoos, piercings, barbers, sacrification, and circumcision practices. If only if these practices are followed by non-sterilized equipments. That's how you can get hepatitis B from one patient to another. Likewise, you get the AIDS from one patient to another by tattoos, piercing, tools. So they can transmit if you use one tool on each and every person or every customer of yours. Sharing needles, if you share needles, that's also a similar thing. Household contact, sharing hygiene equipment, very hygiene equipment, razors and brushes, and the things which are very close to you, and the things which get some of your body fluid or body liquid. That's how the hepatitis B can be caused. Unsterile healthcare practices, that's what I was talking about previously, and sexual contact, and due to which there is exchange of fluids that can cause hepatitis B. After that, we have hepatitis C, which I have put into extreme, and it's also very rare to get hepatitis C. Chances of transmission of hepatitis C is very less, because there are less things due to which hepatitis C can be transmitted, in which mother to child transmission is very common, while needle stick injury can also cause that. Sharing injectable drugs, if you share drugs between each other, and okay, so using drugs is okay, but just use the injections which are sterile, as I told you in the video of AIDS. The government have no problem with the drugs, just use sterile injections, but you can use drugs, it's not a big deal. Okay, unprotected sex. So if you have an unprotected sex and exchange of fluid with a patient who have hepatitis C, then you can there are chances that you may get hepatitis C. Treatment. Now we have some treatment plan to reduce the activity of those viruses which are affecting and causing hepatitis A, B, C, or whatever hepatitis it is to the patient. So several anti-inflammatory and antiviral medications help suppress those viruses. There are many many medications which can help suppress the viruses, but they cannot permanently finish those viruses. Prevention. Now we have a prevention that from which we are not going to get that disease. Whatever you do, even if you are careless, you are using unsterile equipment, you can be safe if you are vaccinated through these disease. So thankfully we have vaccines for hepatitis A and hepatitis B, but sadly we do not have any vaccine for hepatitis C. So we have to stay protected from hepatitis C, and make sure wherever you are, whatever you are making things done, make sure that the equipments are sterile. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you liked the video, and if you like the video, please push that subscribe button below, because it helps me stay motivated and keep making more videos. And it's very difficult for me to keep speaking English, as I'm not as much fluent as possible. I'm doing this because I think that more viewers are going to watch if the language is English. If I make it in my own mother tongue, then the people are not going to watch that much. That's why I want as many people to get help from me. That's why from my videos, that's why I'm using English as the language of my course. And I'm sorry for the bad English. Thank you so much for watching. Allah Hafiz.